Hi everyone. I recently decided that I would begin taking a formal lunch break. Those of you who are stay-at-home mothers, entrepreneurs, or those of you who work from home can probably relate to how easy it is to become so involved in the things that we're doing that we either forget to take a lunch break, decide not to take a lunch break, or we grab something to eat kind of on the go. But I was thinking a couple of weeks ago how healthy it is to stop and to actually take a break and have lunch. For someone who is working a job outside of the home and that job has an established lunch break, lunch is something that people look forward to. They look forward to just getting out of the office, getting out of the building, enjoying a meal with coworkers, meeting up with friends, taking a walk, having some quiet time. And lunch break is always looked upon as something that is positive and mandatory for people who work a certain amount of hours a week or a certain amount of hours a day. But I know how easy it is when you work for yourself or you're a stay-at-home mom, how easy it is to not take that break and to just kind of just push through the day and forget you haven't had lunch. And I found myself doing that. I found myself doing that just kind of haphazardly grabbing something if I'm out or grabbing something at home or really just snacking and not really taking an official break, a lunch break on a regular basis. And I decided that, you know what, I need to have a set time for my lunch. I need to respect that time and I need to sit down and enjoy a lunch and let it be something that I look forward to, whether I decide to go for a walk outside or whether I sit down and eat lunch with my husband, who is a business owner. He has his own time, and so we're able to coordinate having lunch together. Or even if I'm just going to go out for lunch or eat lunch at home, go to my kids' school, if my lunchtime matches with their lunch, but make a conscious decision to enjoy a lunch break, because that is something that I could easily incorporate into my routine to give myself a break, give myself some time to refresh and move forward in the day. And so I decided to do that and just set a specific time for lunch. And I want to spend some of those lunch breaks with you and to have lunchtime vlogs. Maybe twice a week, and I'm gonna have my lunch break, and it'll be a reminder to check in with you all to see what's going on with you, the same way I would if I were having lunch with a friend, a phone call with a friend on a lunch break, and just see where everyone is, what you're up to, and let you know what I'm up to. And so this is the first of those lunchtime vlogs. I will not be planning anything in particular to talk about because when you meet with friends, you may have some things on your mind, but you don't sit down and plan out what you're going to talk about. You just begin to talk and the conversation just flows. And so I want to use this time to connect with you and also just to give myself a chance to express, and I think that it's good. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be healthy. I won't necessarily be here. I'm in my bathroom. I won't necessarily be here just wherever I happen to be. Today for my lunch break, I just not hungry. I ate my breakfast kind of late, and so I just had a light snack, and I decided to just come upstairs to the bathroom and sit by the window, get some warmth from the window, and look out and just take some time to reflect. I, like so many of you, I'm sure, I feel like this is a very busy season of life. Having 3 children, I have 3 boys. My children are 15, 8, and 6, and we just recently got over a lot of sickness. It was like a month of sickness, literally. I had a child who had the flu-like symptoms, as they said, and that turned into um, pneumonia. And then he went back to school, and then he was out like the next week for strep throat. He went back to school, and then my other son had strep throat. He went back to school, and then the other son was sick again, and we were back and forth from the ER to the doctor's office, and it just got to the point where one day I went to the doctor's office to pick up an excuse for school, and my mind went blank. I couldn't. She said, well, when did he go back? And he had gone back that day, and I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember, and she was just looking like, okay, did he go back yesterday? Did he go back today? And I didn't know. I said, I don't know. I really had to think about it because it had just been just really busy, and you know, sometimes, and I hope that my lighting, I'm seeing some kind of sign on my camera. I hope the lighting is fine. If not, then just, you know, bear with it. It's not, I didn't do any kind of setup. I just sat here. But it is a busy season, and sometimes it just feels like there's just a lot. And I've said before that the culture that we live in is so busy. I mean, it's great. There's so many great things going on. There's so much information. There's so many things to do, so many things. I mean, it's just a very fast-paced life. And being a mom, being a wife, my father lives with us. My father is 80 years old. He has health challenges that we are definitely believing for improvements. But it's just a busy time in life. And, you know, when you have the children and you have your relationship and taking care of a parent, and this is kind of all over the place, but it can be a lot. And I'm so very blessed to be able to be in a position to be a blessing to my father. I have a wonderful, wonderful father who has been there for me. Man, I mean, he's just been perfection. He's been a great father. And so I'm very blessed to be able to have the time to help him at a time when he needs my help, because he has been there for me my whole life. And so it's a blessing to be there for him. It's a blessing to be able to be home with my children when they don't feel well. And it's a blessing to be available to my husband also, who is an entrepreneur. And it's a blessing for me to be able to help him. And it's a blessing for me to also have the time to feed into my own career goals. But it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a busy season when you have children. It's a busy season when you're in that sandwich generation. Sandwich generation meaning you're planning for college for your kids and you're taking care of your parents at the same time, which typically you're doing one or the other. Typically or traditionally, people aren't taking care of their parents until they've retired and their kids are grown. But the sandwich generation children are those who are doing both. And I've been wanting to do a video on that. And I've been kind of thinking in my head what I would want to talk about and how I would break it down. And eventually I will. But yeah, that's what's going on. So it's a busy season, busy being a mom. And my challenge right now, my current challenge is just energy, having the energy to continue to push forward, to take care of the things that need to be taken care of, but also to take the time to feed into the things that I want to see happen in my personal life, feed into the things that I want to see grow. decided to take this time. You may not know, but we homeschooled for 4 years, and when our children went back to school, I decided that I would step out on my passion and my dream and to write. And so I made a decision that I would write my first novel, and it's been great, but it has also, ever since I made that decision, it's just been challenges in actually getting it done. And some of those challenges are external, but most of them have been in my own thinking. And so just growing in my thinking and learning how to manage life and still press through, and where I stand with that now, because sometimes I think, wow, you know, how do these women like do all of this? Like, how do they manage family, life, emotions, and have this whole business empire growing at the same time? Because the last visit to the ER with my son, I mean, I was just drained. And when I'm drained, like I'm drained for a couple of days. Like it takes me a minute to just rebound from all of that, because when your children aren't feeling well, I know for me it just takes a lot. And having back to back to back to back, it was just a lot. And at the same time, I was going through medical challenges with my father. And so it was back to back, and I knew I was pushing through. I wasn't crumbling, and I was taking it, and I was moving, and I was moving. At the same time, didn't have as much fight to sit down and to write and to put into the things that I'm doing and I'm working on for myself. And so I think that over the last few days, I've just learned that no matter what's going on, I have to sit down and I have to write. Because when I look at my pastor's wife, or I look at the different women that I see and I admire from afar, I know their children have not felt well before. I know that they've had challenges and they've had emotional strains and they've had setbacks, but somehow they still push through to pull themselves together and they get it done. And so that's where I am. I'm in a place where I'm learning to do that. I'm learning to definitely, my family is my priority, but to also let my personal dreams be a priority as well. And just because my day isn't going as perfectly as I wrote it out to go, or things didn't fall into perfect place, that I can't let that just throw me completely off, because that has been the history for me, that if a child was home, or there was some circumstance that I had to take care of with my father, or business related with my husband, or anything that just would throw off my perfectly mapped out plan, it would just throw me off, and then it would zap my energy for a couple of days, and then I would get my house together and get everything back in order, and then something else would happen. And so I've learned in that no matter what is going on, that writing this book, writing this novel is also a priority. And so no matter what, I have to make it a priority, and I have to sit down and I have to do it. Now I have to ask God, definitely show me how to, give me the energy, show me what I need to do to make sure that my energy is up. Because there are times when I'm just like, ugh, I don't want to do it. I want to do it, but I don't want to do it. I don't have energy. And then I find something else to do, like clean the house or what have you. And I also have a part-time job that I work from home. It's a part-time work from home job. And so it's just lots of great things going on, but just managing them. But the big thing is being right up here in my thinking. And so I feel like I've come to a place where, in just knowing that, I learned that at the last ER visit, to just, these things are going to happen. My dad is going to need me. There are going to be certain situations that come up with him that I'm just going to have to take care of. There are going to be certain things in my home that I'm just going to have to take care of. I have 3 children. There are going to be projects. There are going to be meetings. There are going to be things, activities, and things that I'm just going to have to take care of with our business that my husband heads up. There are going to be things that I'm going to have to do for him that I'm just going to have to take care of, just like any other woman out there. However, in the midst of all of that, I have to be bold enough within myself to say, yes, I'm going to take care of those things. I'm going to delegate where I can, and I'm going to take care of those things. But I'm also going to take care of this thing, this idea that God has laid on my heart to take care of. And regardless of the other roles and responsibilities that I have, this thing is a priority, and I'm going to see it through. And that's where I am with it. That's where I am with it. And it is major, major, major for me to come to this place, to come to this understanding, because I felt like I've just kind of walked around the mountain like, Lord, how do they do it? How do they do it? How do they do it all? And I feel like I've gotten some revelation that you just do it. And I am just like, okay, feed my spirit with the word, get out there, walk, take lunch breaks, because all of these things help me to just keep my energy up, to keep my emotions in check, and to keep me pressing through. Because when you make a decision to do what you feel that God has called you to do, the enemy will try to give you suggestions to knock you off path. But it's very important that I decide that, you know what? Okay, I'm going to still, what did Maya Angelou say? Still I rise. I'm going to still push through, and I'm just so grateful. I heard, I went to a women's conference recently, and I heard Marilyn Hickey say, God makes everything beautiful in his time. And she said it over and over, and it really stuck with me. And so, in the midst of, Mommy, Mom, I need this, Mommy, 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 Mom, in the midst of all of that and the phone calls and having to run around and run errands for my dad and business and doing all these things, just remember God makes everything beautiful in his time, and to understand that life rolls in seasons. Seasons come and seasons go, and God has given me the provision to get through every season, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to get through the seasons. And you are too. So this was really random, but it is what it is. But I'm going to do these lunchtime blogs. And I don't know how long or short. My intention was that they were going to be about 2 minutes. And I've been talking for quite a while. So we'll see how it goes. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Have a happy, blessed day. Be happy, live full, love life. Let me know what's going on in your life in the comments below.